Okay, now we're ready to assemble the cleaned carburetor. I took this out of the solution, I rinsed it with water to get the excess water-soluble carb cleaner off it, and then I blew it out with compressed air. That really is key to cleaning this carburetor after you've gone through the soaking process. You got to blow out all these little tiny passages in here, all this stuff here. If you don't do that and there's a piece of dirt stuck in here somewhere, then you're going to run into problems. You know, you could lean out your mixture and burn down a piston. So it's very important to blow this out with compressed air after it's been cleaned in your solution. Now that we've got all our parts cleaned, what I usually do when I have one of these carbs apart is I go and I'll record all the information off each little piece, like this jet needle here, what size of needle and seat it is, the main jet size, and just about everything else that I need to. That way, if I need to buy a part for this carburetor later on, I don't have to tear it apart to figure out what it is that I need. I just go and I look it up in my notes and I run off and get it. Alright, so let's just start with the basics first. These are the floats, this is the bowl. These go back in with the little mounting point here down. That just contacts with the float lever. It actually says up on it right there. Set those in place. Put these little caps back on. Next thing to do, install the pilot jet. Make sure you've blown this out with air. You can see right through it. If you have an old one of these that's really dirty and full of, you know, the corrosion or varnish, chances are that you won't really get it clean. So make sure you just actually go out and buy a new one. You know, check out the specs on your carburetor, buy a new one of these. It's cheap insurance that you're not going to melt your engine down. I just replace these parts, no problem if there's an issue with them. This one here is fine, doesn't look bad at all. Now for the needle and seat. Replace your gasket. Ensure that your needle is clean. There's a little spring in here, make sure that that thing moves up and down freely, no problems. Make sure that the tip of the needle isn't worn out at all. It needs to come in perfect contact with the brass seat. This is the float arm. There is a correct way for it to go in. Just an easy way to see where it was before is that the I can see the little indentation there where it contacted the top of the needle. Make sure that the arms aren't bent and that everything looks good. I just use a little pair of pliers and I just slightly push that in the end of the needle because it is a compression fit. Just squeeze it in there a little bit and that's it. When you have it set up, you need to make sure that the arm is 90 degrees with the top of the carb itself. See that? The way it sits? This is the needle jet. It doesn't go in from the bottom, it goes in from the top. You have to align this groove with the little, you can just barely see it right there, with that little notch. That way it stays in place. Now I'm replacing the main jet in my carburetor. I'm upping it 3 sizes because I'm putting a set of pipes on my sled, but I would replace it anyway because, you know, these are only about $3 or $4 to replace, and if the hole in this is full of varnish and you can't really get it cleaned out, then you're leaning out your fuel mixture and that'll cause piston meltdown. You know, some people ream them out with a paper clip or something like that, but you don't want to do that either because then you're distorting the size of the hole and you're just going to cause an enriched fuel mixture, so you're going to cause problems. Cheap thing to just get a new one, and that's what I do. Not too tight, it is brass, and this is I don't know, zinc aluminum alloy of some sort. I'm just going to use this old gasket that I have here for installation purposes so you can see what I'm doing. But I am going to replace this with a new one because, you know, that's a cheap fix. Gaskets are cheap. You don't want this thing leaking fuel on the inside of your engine. You'll melt your sled down. This is the idle adjusting screw. Just install that loosely. This is the air screw. Install the spring and put it into place. Inspect your piston valve. Make sure there are no big wear marks in it. It's got to be nice and smooth. No air can sneak in from the top. You don't want that to happen. Just look for any general damage. It is important that you do sync your carbs every year, or quite often. Every time this piston valve goes up, it strikes the idle adjusting screw and it sort of pokes out a little bit of a notch right there. So eventually they are going to get out of sync and you don't want that to happen. So you know, that's just a little important reminder to make sure that you do sync up your carbs. So this is your jet needle. It just goes inside here like that, and then I will install this back on the throttle cable when I go back outside. Just make sure you do set everything up to manufacturer specs. The pilot, the air screw needs to be set to specs. You don't want to mess with that, and you'll need to adjust this after you get it on the sled and get your idle set up. And that's about it. I'll put a new length of hose on there to collect any dirt and water that may come in from the tank, and it's ready to go.